94.3 The Point. It's the Jersey Shore's hit music channel. Good morning. It is 7:36. It's Lou and Liz and Stacey Rose is here today, our relationship expert on the morning show. Stacey, welcome back.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Stacey, it amazes me that you're here to answer our listeners' problems and questions because you've already heard us have at least 2 fights in the 15 minutes that you've been in the room off the air.
I think I could do a little work here, yeah.
Stacey was rubbing her hands. She's
But
like,
it's
I'm in
not
the right
about
room.
us, Lou.
That's right. That's right. You brought up a topic, Liz, that I think is it probably affects everybody at some point, and that is access to your significant other's social media.
Do you feel like you can't trust them and maybe you want to check their phone when you see them texting all day long?
Well, first let's start with this question, Stacey.
Okay.
Is it normal, natural, or not normal, not natural, for someone to be curious about what their significant other is doing online?
So normal is an interesting word. So let's just start with that. There's a natural curiosity, sure. I think in a trusting relationship, though, what's the big deal? Share your passwords, share information. What's the big deal if you've got nothing to hide? Hide nothing.
That's what I would say. I love that advice, but I know people that are like, this is my personal phone. You should trust me enough. Why should I give you my password?
Right.
Or why are you on my Facebook page?
So I guess the question is, which is the test of the trust? Is it the fact that it shouldn't be a big deal to give a password, or is it the fact that somebody needs to have your password? Because that's kind of like a contradiction there. You know, if somebody wants your password and you're saying, hey, you should trust me, you don't need my password.
Right.
That's a red flag to me right there.
It's a slippery slope.
But is it? Or
there's a fine line. I think there's a really fine line. If your partner is checking on you constantly, you're in the shower, they're looking at your phone, you're sleeping, they're checking your Facebook, then there are some red flags. There are some trust issues for sure.
Well, I know people that would say, I know some women in that situation, they would just say, you know, my husband is insecure, so I let him do it and then he feels better.
Right.
But for the person that's in the relationship that's on the other side saying, who are you getting all those texts? Like, you shouldn't even have to ask, who are all those texts from? And then you're in the middle of dinner and your husband is getting a text from someone. Right. Don't you have the right to say, who is that? Or what are you doing? Without having to sneak and with the passcode and look at it.
Yes, absolutely. In a trusting relationship, you should be able to, and not that I like the word should either, but it's nice to be able to trust or to be able to ask, who's the text from during dinner? And if there's no threat and there are no trust issues, then your husband's going to say, oh, it's, Sally. Remember her. No problem.
First, let me give the number, 732-988-POINT. If you want to contribute to the conversation or you have a question for Stacey, call now, 732-988-POINT. So I want to move to the next level of this.
Sure.
Where you've gotten a text, and if you're the person who's just gotten a text, and you know that no matter who sent you this text, it's going to be turned into something that it might not necessarily be. And that's why you're resisting, giving a password or answering that question. Because you just know it's going to be blown into something that's not really true. Mm-hmm. Isn't that part of this also?
Well, that's part of probably why people do resist. I think the more resistance there is, though, the more suspicion. Yeah, the more suspicion there is, and the less trust.
And the other question is, when in a relationship is it okay to say, do you think we should exchange passwords? I mean, that's like a sign of
second date
right there.
Second date?
Yeah, that might be a little premature. I think when you're in a committed relationship, and it's gotten to a level where there's a certain amount of security and trust, and you're going forward with this person. Certainly if you're living together, if you're married, why not?
Wow.
Why not?
Well,
I think that we're a little surprised at that, right? Would you have thought that maybe you had the right to some more privacy than that, or not?
No.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Sure.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. I deserve the right to privacy. Nobody else. No, yes.
So if you're still hanging on to your passwords thinking it's correct, or if you're in a situation where someone's not giving you theirs that you think you should have, give us a call, 732-988-POINT. You don't have to give your name or your spouse's name.
No, give a
I'm curious.
Give a name of a person you work with. That's fine. 732-988.
Name could be Lou.
That's right. Everybody can call Lou.
Lou or Liz.
That's right. So give us a call now. We're with Stacey Rose. More coming up, 94.3 The Point. 94.3 The Point. It's the Jersey Shore's hit music channel. It's 7:56. It's Lou and Liz and Stacey Rose, our relationship expert. It's been great having you here today, by the way.
Thanks. My pleasure.
We were talking in the studio before we went on the air about some of the other topics that we're going to be discussing. So you girls tell us some of the things that you're planning on talking about in the upcoming weeks.
Well, we wanted to talk about infidelity in the form of finances. Do you hide your purchases from your significant other, or do you have separate bank accounts?
Right.
You know, sometimes that's a big, also suspicious trigger, or something you don't know about till somebody's, you know, in debt because they have a hidden credit card
That's
that
right.
their significant other didn't know about. So I think we might be headed toward that topic next week. But
That's
we'll see what
right.
comes
Yeah,
up.
we can absolutely talk about that. I know many a women who will sneak in their packages, and when the husband says, "Oh, honey, is that new? I've had this in my closet for years." So, yeah. Yeah, so definitely a hot topic.
And
Yeah.
does it fall sort of in the similar umbrella? Like today, we had a great conversation about passwords for social media. So people in relationships want to know what your interactions are socially, and now we're talking about interactions financially. It's that same trust issue, right?
Exactly. If trust is critical in a relationship, it's really one of the key foundations to a healthy, successful relationship. And typically, trust is there until it's been broken. Oftentimes, I'll see couples come in and there's been some kind of a betrayal. It could be a long-term affair, it could be a one-night stand, or it could be you were talking to your boyfriend from high school on Facebook last night? Oh, what are you doing that for, honey? So it's critical that you make your partner feel secure in the relationship, or you help them to feel secure.
So
And also in upcoming weeks, we're going to talk about the single girls that are still trying to find the right guy and what they should look for, the questions they should ask on the first few days,
Yes.
what to bring up and what not to bring up.
I have
right
an
away.
answer. What they should look for:
What?
guys with easy passwords on their social media. Right? I mean,
Well, you
solves
share-
all the
Can
problems.
we share a Facebook page or not? Because that's a deal breaker.
Right. Well, with online dating now, there's a lot, yeah. So we can absolutely talk about single folks and how to help them navigate
Oh, good.
through. Sure.
Awesome. We're
So
looking
we'll,
forward to that.
We'll
how do
have you
people-
here every Monday.
Yeah.
That'd
I'm
be great.
thrilled to be here.
How do people get in touch with you if they have questions or want more information about what you do?
So my website is staceyrose.com. It's STACEYROSE.com. My office line is 732-517-1177.
I'll tell you, we've
Thanks for
only
having me here.
had 2 segments with Stacey, and Liz and I are already getting along better. That's a big mountain to climb.
I don't
right
have your
there.
password yet. But
Maybe by next
What's the
week.
matter? You don't trust me?
well, you know, there is a thing about, you know, we have a relationship. There are people with business relationships. There are people that may have a different kind of relationship they want to call in about, and they can do
Sure.
that too next week.
Sure.
Absolutely.
All right. Stacey Rose, thank you so much.
Thank
It is,
you, Stacey.
Thank you.
7:59, 94.3 The Point.